Welcome back, everybody. This is Brother Mean here. Today we're going to make another viewer requested build. I believe this was for someone called J Republic or J Republican. Sorry if I got your name wrong, buddy. I didn't write it down, and it's early in the morning. I'm a little tired. But I wanted to get this out to you because I did promise it to you, and it has been a long, long while. So let's get this to you. Now, we do have mods in this game. Bag of Tricks will be how I power level your character. Eldritch Arcana will just basically, for you, since we're going fighter, just add some traits. And again, so this is a modded video, technically speaking. It's really not. It really is so close to being unmodded that anyone could take this video and run with it. So just know that you wouldn't get the traits. For example, if you have an unmodded version of this character. This was a Spartan that you were specifically looking for. So I'm going to make you a human fighter. You could have been a fighter or a rogue, you said, and I think fighter makes the most sense. We'll get better skill with weapons. The question is you specifically said something like, I want to say spears was your thing. That's how I'm going to take you. I would recommend not as a possible choice. I would recommend, say, the two-weapon fighting with your shield bash. We will do that still, because you can do that with a short spear. Again, Spartan makes sense. But the other thing is you could have gone punching dagger, which I know sounds weird, but it would have been a solid choice. I'll show you why. So let's give you a character here first off. I don't particularly care what kind of human you look like because we don't have a really good Spartan picture. Hopefully you can find one. So I'm just going to pick a generic human. And again, don't worry about the fact that you're wearing full plate mail and a flail because you're not going to use that. But this is the type of shield that a Spartan, to me, uses. So we're just going to run with that. Hairstyle, we're going to give you the Caesar cut. Nice black hair. I have no idea what Spartans look like, man, other than some general pictures. I'm going to say you've been outside a lot, you know, marching all over the battlefield and everything gives you a nice tan. You're going to be a dex-based character. That doesn't mean that you're not going to have enough strength to matter. And we are going straight fighter. And again, I don't particularly know what kind of colors you would wear, so I'm going to go with a yellow/gold and then black for accents, because why the hell not? There you go. The reason that fighter is interesting to me is going to be a few things. Let me talk about this before we go further. One, your will saves are going to straight up suck, but your fortitude and, of course, your reflexes, since we're going high dex, is going to be stellar. Will's going to be your soft spot, but notice that with bravery here, you can actually get a better bonus to your will saves against fear effects. So that's not bad. There's a way to convert that, though, as you level up, into just will saves in general. And that's power. That's something that you'll actually appreciate. So your saving throws across the board are going to be pretty solid. Will's going to be a little weak still, but we can get it, like I said, up to a solid +5 by the end of the build, just for the way we're building your character. I can even take that maybe, say, to +6 with a trait, for example, increasing your will saves. So that's a solid upgrade. Notice that we're going to have weapon training in a specific category. This is what I was talking about for your light shields, heavy shields, and punching daggers as a combo choice. If you can make that bridge, I suggest that one, but I'm not going to because you said you wanted spears. So we're going to go for the spear category. And that one's still interesting to me because that includes a variety of things. It includes the trident, includes the short spear, which you care about because that allows you to do a spear and a shield at the same time. A regular spear, which is a two-handed weapon, and a long spear, which is a two-handed weapon with reach. And, wait for it, javelin, which totally feels like a Spartan thing. So we're going to have skill in something that's a ranged weapon. That's more attack bonus and more damage. You'll appreciate this thing. So again, that's why I'm going spear for you. If you can convince yourself that the Spartans could use a punching dagger and a light shield, I recommend the other one. But again, kind of on you. It's not going to damage it, hamper you too much. But I would have loved to see your shields hit +4 better and +4 damage better. That's just me. Other stuff, though, is notice that since you are a Spartan, we are going to be giving you scale mail from the start. Scale mail or breastplate makes the most sense for my Spartan character. Maybe leather or hides, but definitely not chainmail. Anything that I saw online didn't look like a whole lot of chainmail. It seemed like scale mail or breastplates made the most sense. So we're not going to go into heavy armor, even though you could, because again, you're not a knight, you're a Spartan. You keep it light. That's why you have the shield in the first place, so you can be mobile. So again, that's going to be something of value to you. Because you're a fighter, we're actually going to get some of that dex penalty. Remember, notice A, armor usually slows you down. B, armor usually impedes your ability to do things like athletics checks, mobility checks, and stealth checks. Something that you may care about. And again, that sucks. But because you're trained in wearing armor, you can take some of those penalties away. probably to the point where it's actually not even a penalty anymore, which is pretty badass. The other thing that it does, not only will it give you your speed back, but it will also give you the ability to get more dex bonus while wearing something like that. And for a dex-based character, which is what I'm going to make you, that's a solid upgrade. So instead of having to only wear like things like robes or like the best possible leathers out there and still get your dex modifier back, screw that. We're a fighter. We'll actually get a solid bonus to our dex modifier back, like up to like I think like a +7, +8 maybe, depending on the type of armor that we give you. And we will definitely be at +8 and then some. So again, the fact that we're going to get some of that back is really nice. So again, dex is your main stat. I recommend that you take it to either 18 or 19. Excuse me. We want intelligence to actually be 12. There's a reason for this. No, I suggest that you literally give points to the other two and see what you have. We could take a penalty to charisma and like give some love to like those guys there and do like 1, 2, and 3 and then 2 points here, but that seems again weird to me, and I don't like penalties, as you probably already know, so I keep it to the 10 and 10. But again, that is your build. You can do it as you wish. So if you do like so, you can probably eke out a 1, 2, 3 points here, and then 2 more points into dexterity, bringing it up to a solid 22. Could be interesting. The downside is your perception's down, and your persuasion's down. We'll invest in persuasion because you're going to have a kingdom. So again, that's a thing. So again, you could go that route if you think that's something of merit. I don't think it's something I care about. So I go like so. As far as skills, notice athletics, mobility to 3, and only 3. Knowledge world and lore nature are solid choices. Persuasion, so you have 4 right now anyway as being a human. It will vacillate between you have 4 points, you have 5 points, you have 4 points, you have 5 points. When we get intelligence up to 14, which we will do, we'll get dumped a bunch of extra skill points, which will help us flesh out your character a little better. But these are the ones you care about, with, again, of course, the exception of perception and mobility to 3, like I said. Now, on these two, you don't have to invest in both. I would not. I would pick one and run with it. So which one do you think? Are you knowledgeable about the world? You are a Spartan. You travel from city to city, pillaging the land or whatever the hell Spartans do. So knowledge world does make sense. And lore nature, on the other hand, again, you're out wild all the time. Maybe you have to hunt for your dinner. Again, lore nature makes sense. So I can't tell you what to pick. But I suppose since we're already an intelligence-based character-ish, I'm going to go knowledge world. Okay? So that gives us the points to put here and here, or here and here. And again, we'll do persuasion. Once you get to about level 4 or 5, we'll actually start to care about it. Why? Because again, we want mobility to 3. From here, notice again that this is where the modded part of the game comes into play. If you're not playing a modded version of the game, if you're playing on the consoles instead of PC, or if you're playing on PC and you just don't want to mod out your game, then just ignore this part of the video. Come back when we talk about these combat feats and these feats here. Okay, so but these 3 here are not for you. For you, they're using mods. Emotion drawback, you're going to go for envy. It's cheap and easy, and again, it's not a concentration penalty, which I don't think you can do without spells, so not even a problem for you. But that gives you an extra trait to pick from. So what trait are we going to get? Well, first let's talk about combat trait. There's a variety of things in here. Things to me that smacks of a fighter that could benefit from stuff would be, again, getting a green check mark where you give a shit, so either perception or mobility, if that's not your thing. Other stuff like being better with your armor. This is the armor check penalty, but remember, we already have that thanks to us being a fighter, so it's not necessary. I do like the extra sneak attack, as you know from probably my older videos. Anonymous is still a solid choice. You crit more often with that spear, but spears crit terribly. It's like a nat 20 only. But you could do Defender of the Society as long as you're wearing medium armor or heavy armor. You get a +1 to your armor. That's awesome. That's the one I'm actually going to suggest to you. Bonus to reflexes and fortitude are in here as well. I would recommend, though, anything that gives you a bonus to will saves. That's your real weak spot. Other thing that is of appeal is something that's bonus to initiative. Not a weak spot for you, but again, something that is a boon to someone that wants to act first. Get somewhere on the battlefield and kick some goddamn ass. It's a solid upgrade. Now the downside, or at least the weird side of this, is there's a couple traits in here at least that give you a +2 trait bonus to initiative, and I don't think they stack. So don't grab it here if you can grab it elsewhere, because again, something like Defender of the Society or Blade of the Society are solid choices. But I do like the extra armor. And again, since we know we're going to be always wearing medium armor, why not give that to yourself? So that's what we're going with here. From there, we could say social trait. Notice that suspicious. I'm not suggesting you grab it now, but this is a solid upgrade. This is not only a bonus to your perception here, it'll give you the green check mark, so it goes up 3 points just because of the green check mark, and then it's a trait bonus giving you another point, so this +1 would jump up to a +5 right off the bat. Again, I'm not suggesting that right now, but that's a solid choice. As far as regional trait, you don't do spells. A bruising intellect is something that could be of interest to you. The bonus to persuasion, you don't need the green check mark because you already have it, but you do get a +1 and a little bit of juice because it's an intelligence modifier now instead of a charisma modifier. Remember, your intelligence is 12, your charisma is 10. Your intelligence will finish at 14, your charisma will stay at 10. So again, it'll go up a couple of extra points because of this. Again, not so much that I give a rat's ass. What I do care about is the ability to place yourself on the battlefield where you want to be. So Wanderlust is impressive. And you're wearing armor. Armor is a penalty to your movement until here. So why not give yourself some of that movement and then some back? So nice +10 to your ground speed permanently. That's what I'm going to suggest for you. The other ones, again, I would recommend would be going equipment traits. So if you're not doing something like Well-Provisioned Adventurer, and I'm going to give you a suggestion for one, it is called the Mystic Guide Package. As weird as it sounds, some stuff in here you don't give a rat's ass about, but the Cape of Resisting Heat and Cold, that's the reason that they wore capes and tunics and cloaks and shit, so they're protected from the elements. So that thematically makes sense. The Wand of Cure Light Wounds, you can't use it, so give it to someone else or sell the damn thing. A light shield and a short spear, on the other hand, those are basically your weapons. So, generically speaking, I mean, this isn't that impressive, but generically speaking, it's a solid upgrade. I still maintain, though, that Family Heirloom is the way to go. The downside is, if you look at the laundry list of stuff in here, there's very little that smacks of Spartan. Let's actually walk through this list, okay? So, Bastard Sword Club, Composite Longbow, Dagger maybe. Dueling Sword, Dwarven War Estoc Falchion, again, no. For Shard, Flail, Hand Crossbow, Kukri, maybe Kukri. Long Spear, that's you. And I'm okay with taking that. And it gives you a magic long spear right off the bat, and skill with long spear, so you get another +1 to your swing. So as a fighter, especially if you're trying a harder difficulty, this is a good way to go. Better attacks right off the bat, and you're going to have yourself a really nice magic weapon right off the bat, and we want to have better armor right off the bat. So again, you can handle that level 1 to level 2 transition, level 2 to level 3, because this game will not hold your hand, as I'm sure you are aware. Even in the tutorial, if you're trying on the hard mode, they curb stomp your ass. They give them like ridiculous buffs. Other stuff that's in this list, longbow, long sword, maybe is something that you would see a Spartan use, but again, thematically doesn't make sense to me. Either scimitar or short sword would make sense. I don't know that scimitar is right, but short sword definitely would make sense. I've definitely seen videos where they had short swords and boards going into battle, especially in like gladiator pits. But again, that's, like I said, it's up to you on that one. But again, we're going with spears, so why not get a nice bonus to your long spear? And long spear is nice compared to spears. So if we talk about the spears in categories of long spear, spear, and short spear, okay. Short spear is nice because it's one-handed and you can use it with your shield, which of course is what we're going to do. When you need reach, long spear, the one we have equipped here, is nice because it has that 6-foot reach. It's two-hander and you poke it and you get a nice damage buff as a result of power attack and high strength. You like it. Spear's in the middle of those two fuckers. It's a two-handed weapon, so you can't use your shield, but it's not a reach weapon, so it's only 2 feet. But it is still a two-handed weapon, and again, there's good spears, long spears, and short spears in the game, so I'm not trying to steer you away from spears. It's just know the limitations of the 3 categories. Really, it's long spear for when you really want to hit something hard and reach, like over your teammate, or short speared and a board for when you want the armor and the ability still to stab someone in the face. So again, that would be the 2 that I would use. And then, of course, Javelin, generically speaking, for a nice ranged attack. So that's what we're going for there. When it comes to, that's our 3 things. So we got, again, Family Heirloom, Long Spear, Wanderlust, and then we got Defender of the Society. Now that you're back from those that were not modding, we have a bonus combat feat. That's all these guys down here. You see we get a shit ton of these things. We do not need weapon finesse. I'm not saying you can't grab it. You do have skill with all kinds of light weapons. You are a fighter, so you get like daggers and short swords and punching daggers and all kinds of cool shit on your fucking repertoire. But if you're not doing that, if you're keeping to theme, none of those things, even the short spear, are weapon finessable. And you may say, well, isn't the Javelin dex based? Yes, but it's already dex based. So you don't need weapon finesse to dex wield that thing. So that high dex is going to give you the ability to wield it properly. And it is a strength based weapon in that the stronger you are, the more damage it does. So it's exactly what you'd want in a weapon. So again, dex to hit, strength for extra damage. So we do not need weapon finesse, so I'm just going to save on that feat. I will grab things though like armor focus, medium armor. Why not have better armor right off the bat? Again, on that same vein, since you're going to be using a shield, if you do the short spear and light shield, we can get shield focus. Like that. Then we can get you two-weapon fighting. The downside of this is you can't bash with your shield yet, so we're going to take that shield focus away and give you, see, they finally put it up in the positive category. No, it's going to be thumbs down, right? Shield bash, that's our guy. So we have two-weapon fighting, shield bash. You need two-weapon fighting to shield bash properly. So that's nice. And then medium armor focus. Okay? Again, if you wanted to do shield focus here instead of medium armor focus, that's fine. But you're going to get both, is the short version. I'm just going to generically name your character fighter.
This will hurt!
As far as alignment is concerned, man, it doesn't much matter. Know that there are alignment restrictions in the game as far as you can't wear this gear if you are lawful or good. So chaotic and good would be a bad idea. Chaotic neutral, murder hobo was a solid choice. True neutral's good. Chaotic good's fun. Same with chaotic evil. So again, kind of on you. Know what kind of gear is out there though that may impede this. And there are decisions in the game where they won't give you a good outcome unless you're like lawful, or if you're neutral, or if you're evil, or whatever. So again, if you play the game enough to know that, oh, I want to save that person, the only way to save that person is if you are lawful, in most cases. So, kind of suck. So lawful good, lawful neutral, lawful evil, kind of on you. I usually bend towards the chaotic good in my campaigns when I do D&D, or Pathfinder for that matter. But if we go in straight murder hobo, chaotic neutral is always fun.
We do it my way.
And he does it his way. I'm going to back you out of here just real quick, just so you can see what your level 1 character actually looks like. So let's actually take that out here. Pop you there, and so. Now I want you to see that they give you a spear. So this is your generic two-handed spear. These are going to be the same as far as damage output. 20 times 3 for the crit, 20 times 3 for the crit. 1d8 of damage, 1d8 of damage, plus 1 because it's magic, of course. But again, the difference between spear and long spear is this is a 2-foot melee weapon. This is a 6-foot melee weapon. So again, differences. That doesn't mean that there's not good spears in the game. So again, that's why I wanted to show this to you. Notice that this one we have even more skill in it because of the family heirloom long spear. Notice that it jumps down considerably. It's not just a -1 here, it's a -2. +3 versus +5. Why? Because again, this is a magic spear, and you have skill in long spear. That's that family heirloom long spear that you're seeing there. So again, this would be the one that I would stick with at the beginning, in level 1 to level 2, until you find yourself your short spear and a nice light shield to go with it. Okay, but again, this is a solid character. Armor's looking good. If I gift you stuff first, I want to make sure that we level you up. So this character doesn't have enough XP, so we're just going to jump to it, make sure that you have enough for level 20, and then we're going to gift you generic equipment just so you can see what I'm talking about here. You already have your scale mill on, so if we do short spear, oops, back tight. Nope, that didn't work. Take that though, Deadly Ivy. Take that as well. Looks like there's short spear and all one word in short space spear So be real careful on that. I'm going to give you a Masterwork short spear only because I know what a Masterwork one does. And then we already have a spear and a long spear, so now we just need a Javelin. And then we'll give you a Masterwork Javelin too, just because we know what it does. Then we want a light shield. Oops, type. And I'm going to give you just light shield +1s, just so that we have what we need. Now, the reason I did all that weirdness is I want you to see what a Masterwork short spear, how it differs. Okay, so it's only a +1 to your swing. That's why Masterwork was nice. And the game is kind of glitchy. For example, if you click on light shield for that gifting yourself of stuff, I gave myself light shields before where they weren't light shields. They actually go in the armor slot for some weird ass reason, so the game is borked. But these ones here, the +1s, again, it's easy enough to separate out what a +1 does. But you see how we can put it in here. Notice that we get a base attack bonus, a strength bonus, a penalty because it's a two-handed weapon. That's a problem. It's not that much of a problem. So again, it is light, so that's nice. Notice we could have gone this one, and again, until we switch over to your weapon for your Javelin. You can do shield and Javelin. I don't think that the heavy shield makes sense for a Spartan. I know it sounds silly. It's the better shield, obviously, but it's not the point. It doesn't look like something that we'd use. There's a one or two that are too good to pass up. I'll steer you in the direction of those. If you can justify it in your head, run with it. But by and large, there's still really good light shields in the game, and bucklers are useless. You can't smack with them. It's not useless. It's just you can't do the two-weapon fighting. So this is the one that you would go with, something like a light shield plus whatever that has some special effects on it. But again, a solid attack, a solid armor. So again, our armor class is going up, as you can see. If you need to shield it up, as well as Javelin chuck, you can do such things. So again, kind of cool that you have ranged attack, and you can still smack them in the face if you so choose. So again, on you on that one. But until said time that we get you some decent skill, this is how you're probably going to go, running in with a big pokey stick. Okay, and again, still a decent armor for a level 1 character, still a decent attack bonus for a level 1 character. Again, it's not amazing, and again, it's because this +4 is not being taken into account here. And notice that none of those things are weapon finessable. This is just a one-handed weapon. It is not finessable. It's not light. This one maybe, but yeah, no. It's keying off with strength, but that doesn't mean if we have weapon finesse, you couldn't have gotten a bonus here. Okay, but again, our strength is not going to be so much farther behind dexterity that I really care. And if you really cared about your shield, as you'll see, you would have cared enough to not go short spear, in that category. When you get here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Get your perception up, get your mobility up. Let's keep our athletics going. From here, I'm going to grab power attack. You're going to hit, you are at a penalty when you swing with this. It's a -1 right now. That's not that big of a deal. You already have a bonus +1. You got a +1 magic weapon. You're at a +2 BAB. Remember, at every level you get a BAB increase. So you're going to finish with a BAB at 20. So this is not that big of a deal. And again, it's an extra 2 damage, extra 3 if you're using a two-handed weapon. Oh wait, spear and long spear are two-handed weapons. So again, you get that extra damage up front. Makes you really, really powerful early on. I recommend that you grab power attack sooner than later. And of course, notice you get your little bravery, your +1 to your will saves, but only against fear. So this will, while it sucks, it's a little bit better. And then we'll get a nice +5 before the end of the build. Notice now we're getting our nice armor training. And again, this is the stuff that takes away the penalty. Notice our speed movement is now taken away from medium armor. And again, with that trait that gave you an extra 10 ground speed, you're up to a solid 40 now for running around. And you don't have to worry about that. That's really, really nice. So here's some perception. Mobility is now officially done. And now we can unlock, say, persuasion. So these are the ones that you're going to give a rat's ass about. And mobility is finished. Okay. So up to you how you want to spread those points around. But obviously I would go with the physicality one of athletics maxing it out and perception maxing it out. Those are the two key ones. Probably persuasion as well. Because again, kingdom. You have to rule. You have to make those decisions for people. We could get you point blank shot, precise shot with your javelin. I don't care enough to give a rat's ass on it. And honestly, I only like the Javelin for when you are at range anyway, and you just want to pepper that one last guy that's running. switch weapons and then chuck a javelin in his fucking running ass and tag him before it gets out of line of fire, for example. So I don't really care about those. We could get you weapon focus in your spear, your short spear, your long spear, whatever. But again, I don't particularly care about that right now. I'm trying to get you to here. But things like dodge is useful. Stuff like double slice is still valid for you. You are two weapon fighting, so dual wielding, even if it is with a shield. So again, being able to use your strength modifier fully for both your main weapon and your offhand weapon, which in this case is your shield, is a solid choice. Don't like that right now. Maybe get some more shield focus. Get yourself a nice little bonus to your armor class. And again, you will appreciate that early on if you're doing the harder difficulties. Fighter. I'm going to get you 2 points in intelligence. We're going to do that first so we can get our skills up now. And 13 intelligence unlocks something that we want. Then a point in dexterity, and then 2 more points in either dexterity or strength or con. Up to you on that one. But the bonus to intelligence is going to unlock a feat for us. Athletics, keep going with it. Perception, keep going with it. And like I said, how you upgrade persuasion or knowledge world, what you think is more important, that's kind of on you. But I think probably persuasion. From here, with that beautiful intelligence, let's see if we can get, there it is, combat expertise. This is the penalty to your swing again. I would not recommend it at this level. But if you need to turtle up a little bit, it's an extra armor bonus. -1 to your swing, +1 to your armor. You will appreciate this when you really come into those tough fights. But this is a means to an end. We need this to unlock another feat. And again, that's why we needed the intelligence to be as high as it is. Now, we finally get to have some serious fun. Perception's up, athletics up, 2 points to invest. I'm going to put 1 in persuasion and 1 in knowledge world. Skipping right to here. This is your weapons training. This is the one you're going to go with. Look at what we got. Javelin, long spear, short spear, spear, and trident. All +1 to attacks and damage. Then we're going to pick them here, here, and here again. So by the end of this build, it's going to be a solid +4 for all those weapons. Sounds good, right? But look at this one. This is the one that I was suggesting to you. If you could convince yourself that the punching dagger was good enough for you as a Spartan, you get a gauntlet. Doesn't exist in the game. Unarmed strike. Suppose you could punch him with your bare fist. That seems dumb. Light shield, heavy shield, spike shield, which I didn't even know that was a thing, and punching dagger. That could give you a punching dagger in your main hand and a shield of some kind in your offhand that you're swinging with. And both of those weapons you do have. Both of those weapons you would swing at a solid +4 to your swing and +4 to your damage. You see what I'm saying? If you could make that leap, this would be the one that I'd pick for you. But again, you said you like spears, so we're going with spears, brother. But you're still fine. Don't kid yourself. It's not that your shields are going to suck or anything like that. It's just it could have been better. And I kind of like the idea. From here, though, you could get other categories. Again, just like I said, like the shields and the punching dagger, whatever. Here, here, and here. But, again, I don't want to dilute anything down. And there's some really good alternatives here, here, and here. Like the ability to turn these will saves for fear bonus into just straight up bonus to your will saves flat. And some other cool stuff you get to do with like sword boards, or in your case, spirit boards. So that's a solid upgrade. For weapon training, though, all right, we got our shield focus, combat expertise. Let's see, is it in here? Is it in here? Is it in here? There it is. Trip. You need combat expertise or kinetic warrior to do this, and then intelligence high enough to do it. But the intelligence unlocks combat expertise, so that's it's dumb when they do this shit. I hate when you have to have an intelligence of 13 and combat expertise. I'm sure there's probably, I shouldn't say that. There's probably a way to get combat expertise without having intelligence of 13. There's probably some weird ass build out there that actually gets this for free, where you don't need to have an intelligence of 13 to unlock it. So maybe that's why. But it seems dumb. Anyway, point is, this is going to give you the ability to trip targets. And for those of you that don't know, when you trip a bad guy, they fall flat on their ass, of course, assuming you succeed, they are now prone. That's a bonus to your swing for hitting a stationary target on the ground if you're meleeing. If you're ranged attacking, it's harder to hit them because they are prone. That seems dumb to me, but whatever. Point is, you're meleeing most likely, a solid chance for you to hit them now, and your team. But better than that, this is where the fun begins. when they stand the fuck back up to attack, because they have to attack. So they stand back up, attack of opportunity for you and every one of your allies circling the son of a bitch. That's free attacks for you and your team. Awesome. Then we have other things that are going to unlock thanks to having trip. Let me show you what I'm talking about. See, tandem trip, teamwork feat. You know how to work together to trip your foes. Whenever you attempt a trip combat maneuver against an enemy threatened by an ally with this feat, you roll twice and take the better of the result, so more likely to trip. And again, I like that. I think that's a fine tactic. Spartans were all about tactics. I think this would be something that they could capitalize on. So I think this is the way to go, and there's going to be some fun that we get to have with this as well. Going. That one. Persuasion. See Fury's fall. You can use your strength and agility to send your foes crashing to the ground. Better chance to do it. See greater trip. This is some serious fun. You can make free attacks on foes that you knock down. So not only do you get a bonus to your chance to trip them again, whenever you successfully trip an opponent, that opponent provokes an attack of opportunity. So notice this part. Normal. This means without greater trip. This would be what would happen. Creatures do not provoke attacks of opportunity from being tripped. But now they do. So some serious fun to be had. See what I'm saying? You trip them, you poke them at the same goddamn time. And again, that's seriously funny to me. So, and it says provokes attack of opportunity. I would assume that means for you and your team. So if your teammates are next to you, boom, everyone just beats on the son of a bitch that you just tripped to the ground immediately. And then when he tries to stand back up, again, another attack of opportunity. So you can see the fun that we're about to have here with this. And again, we're going to get improved 2-weapon fighting. We're going to get greater 2-weapon fighting too. So this is how we're basically building your character. All right. Before we do Fury's Fall, let me get that improved 2-weapon fighting because I want you to have an extra swing with your offhand shield. Going. Last point, intelligence. Bunch of points dumped on you all at once. Gives us a chance to get that persuasion fully up and consistent with perception and athletics, which I think you should maintain. Then from there, every other point gets dumped into Knowledge World. Or if you really want to try a little stealthiness, you go ahead, but you're probably not going to be that great at it. From here, notice we even get greater shield focus, another bonus even to your shield. Something else of concern to you is if you get mugged in the middle of the night, you won't have your medium armor on because you get fatigued with those on, lighter medium armor. Well, if you have endurance, not only do you get a bonus to athletics and a bonus to your fortitude save against fatigue and exhaustion effects, which is awesome, you also can wear your light or medium armor like your scale mail all fucking night long, and it's not a problem. You get jumped, you wake up, you're fully fucking ready for battle, baby. Just saying. Sometimes it's kind of nice to have shit like that. It sounds silly, and it may not be that important to you, but I do maintain that it's a solid choice. Same with dodge, same with double slice. But fortunately, as a fighter, we're getting a shit ton of feats. That's why fighters are so badass. Now we get to really start to see what's coming your way. Let me show you what I mean. Here is first we skip to the far right one. So again, training and spears. This is always going to be training and spears, training and spears, training and spears. That's your +4 to your swing, +4 to your damage with those weapon categories we'd already talked about. Then this one here, we could again get training in some of those other weird things. Pole arms, close combat for your shield, again, up to you. But I don't think that's a choice. I think you should pick one and run with it, and then use these 3 for this weird shit. Look what the weird shit you have access to. Let's go in reverse order. So we do trained initiative. As long as he's wielding a weapon from the trained weapon group, that's this one here. So again, any of your spears or your javelin, or a trident for that matter, you literally get to add your bonus, which again is up +2 right now, to your initiative check. So +1, +2, +3, +4 to your initiative by the end of this build. Not bad, right? Remember, if you go first, that's a boon. That's something you will capitalize on every time. Don't like that? Here's fighter tactics. Watch this one. All the fighters' allies are treated as if they had the teamwork feat. Now look at the list of feats. What does this mean? First, let's actually explain this. This is if you've ever played with Javelin, who has solo tactics. It's the same thing. Okay, so you get a teamwork feat, which you don't have yet. You can. One of them right here. This is one of the reasons we're doing this. But if you do that, the other teammate standing next to you, they have to be physically right next to you. If they have the feat, you both benefit from the feat. So this is weird stuff. This is, again, falls under that teamwork point. Okay, so it's a teamwork feat because it's a team. Both of you have to have it. Well, that's annoying because then you have a specific build for your whole goddamn team. But again, you know, as a team, why wouldn't you have teamwork feats working together, capitalize on each other's strengths, right? Well, this is a way around it. It assumes they have it. It doesn't give them the bonus, but it gives you the bonus. So, for example, if I go with a tandem trip, remember I said that literally gives us the ability to trip even better. You get like a double chance to roll on that shit. Who's going to have tandem trip on your fucking team? Probably nobody. Maybe Javelin, and then now you're stuck bringing her all the goddamn time. Well, fighter tactics, and it doesn't matter. If I pick up tandem trip, it assumes whoever's standing next to me. You still have to have a teammate next to you. That means a teammate, a summoned pet, or a animal companion, something along that line. So again, it could be like a create undead spell where they have a skeleton or a zombie right fucking next to you. If he's on your team and he's teammate friendly, that counts. So it assumes that he has whatever these teamwork feats that we're talking about. And again, there's some really good shit in here. You know, like outflank, a better chance to swing, shake it off, better saving throws, shield wall, extra armor, seize the moment, basically more attacks of opportunity, coordinated defense when you don't want to be tripped yourself, or bull rushed, or any of those other combat tricks. Coordinated maneuvers when you do want those combat tricks to go off, like our trip maneuver. Back to back for extra fucking armor. Again, you can see the appeal here. This is why this is the build. This is fighter tactics was going to be something that I was going to get you. And again, we are going to grab that shit now. Notice there's other stuff in here. Here's fighter reflexes. As long as you're wielding weapon from the bloody blah blah blah, all the bonuses, the +1, are added to your reflex saving throws. So we could have a +4 to your reflexes from this. So again, even if you weren't a dex-based build, but you do want a dex-based build, because again, the 2-weapon fighting, greater 2-weapon fighting, improved 2-weapon fighting shit. But if you didn't, you could literally still end up with a solid reflex bonus up to a +4. And I thought that was pretty cool. We can also get your will saves, like I said, up to a +5. How do we do that one? Well, let me skip ahead and show you armed bravery. The fighter applies his bonus from bravery, that's these guys here, to all will saving throws. See that one? That one's definitely something you're going to get. So again, we have to pick 3. So again, we got to be real choosy here. Notice this one here, effortless dual wielding. The fighter treats all one-handed weapons that belong to the trained weapon group as though they were light weapons when determining his penalties on attack rolls for fighting with 2 weapons. So I think if we use like a heavy shield, it would be a massive penalty to your swing. Effortless dual wielding would allow you to wield it like it's a light shield. And again, that may not be your thing. There's one really, really good heavy shield, and it does look cool enough that I could convince myself that the captain of the Spartan team has it. So it fits in my pea brain, that's good enough for me. But maybe that's not your thing, so don't pick this then, is my point to you. Go with your light shield, you'll be fine. But fighter tactics for sure, armed bravery for sure, and then one other. So either the initiative, the reflexes, or the combat maneuver defensive. Again, if you don't want to get tripped or bull rushed or all that other annoying shit, this is a nice buff to you as well. So again, weapon training bonus, this 1, 2, 3, 4 is added to your CMD. That's not that impressive, but it's still cool. Up to you though. But again, I still maintain that fighter tactics, armed bravery, and effortless dual wielding is the ones that I'm going to go with. Okay? Now, here, Fury's Fall, fighter tactics, where's my thing? Tandem trip. Let's see if we can find that little fucker. Tandem trip. And again, you know how to work together. Whenever you attempt to trip combat, you roll twice. And again, all you have to do is be next to a companion. And again, they do not need to have this feat. They do not need to have trip. They do not need to have tandem trip. So again, it's one of those that's really nice, and it's because of this fighter tactics that we have that ability. Going. Boom. Looking all kinds of pretty. We can work on that later. I want to make sure that we're up on our greater 2-weapon fighting and improved 2-weapon fighting and all that cool shit. It's not enough. I think we need 11. I think that's what we're missing here. So, going against Smash. Nah, you don't need that shit. Dirty trick. Blinded, entangled, or sickened. That can be fun. That's not necessarily you. Double slice, though, I said I wanted you to have that one. It's a nice upgrade to your offhand swing. Now, greater 2 weapon fighting. Now we start working on dex. Get a nice bonus to your armor, a nice bonus to your ranged attacks. You have a Javelin, remember? So that's really nice for you. I'm going to give you... Your mastery of the shield allows you to fight with it without hindrance. So again, penalties that you would normally suffer by using that shield for your offhand smack is now gone. That's nice. You needed a high BAB to do that in the first place. Keep going. Now I say we start to go all in on our tripping ability. So here's more spears. Remember, we're up to now +3/+3 for attacks and damage with those categories of weapons. Here, let's get that effortless dual wielding for the shield, or armed bravery. Let's do armed bravery first. We'll do the effortless one down here because the penalty's not that big of a penalty. It's just annoying. Bashing finish, on the other hand, you follow a powerful blow with your weapon with an opportunistic bash from your shield. So whenever you do one of those critical hits, this is why this is kind of nice. If you have a good critical hit weapon, which you do not have, remember your spears and tridents and all that shit were always a crit on a nat 20. And an improved critical we don't have yet. We should do that. But that, again, is a problem because that means you're not going to crit all that much. So that's why I suggested, you know, if you could convince yourself that a Spartan could wield a long sword, there's a crit range of 19 to 20, or dagger, that's a 19 to 20, or God forbid a scimitar or a kukri, those are 18 to 20. You can see the fun you can have here where you crit, shield bash, crit, shield bash. See what I'm saying? This is kind of cool. And again, I kind of dig that shit. You could have convinced me of those short sword, because again, a Spartan would definitely use a short sword, and it's much like a long sword or a dagger in that regard. The downside for a short sword to me is there's not very many good ones in the game. And by good, I mean named ones. There's plenty of short swords +1, +2, all the way up to +5. But if you want a short sword that's like a short sword that does something special, there's only like 2 in the game. But again, on you on stuff like that. And there's nothing stopping you from using it, by the way. Let's start working on that Fury's Fall type stuff. Strength and Dex now is added to it, and then we'll start capitalizing some more on your trip ability, as well as any other teamwork feats that you might want to have. Remember, with that ability, you can get all kinds of shit for free just by standing next to a teamie. So the things that you would need to increase your trip ability is like your coordinated maneuver type stuff. I think we can kind of hold off on that, though. What does it actually give you? +2. That's it. It's not that impressive, really. But what I could do, dodge, more armor. I love that. Don't like that one. We could give you greater shield focus. You almost always have a shield in your hand unless you're doing the long spear. So that's not bad, and that's extra armor. Don't like that. Blind fight is a solid choice, and again, you will appreciate that. Don't like that. Well, again, there's all kinds of cool stuff that you get for being a fighter. Nope. Ooh, no, that's not doing you any good because you're a fighter. Maneuvers. You learn your quickness in place. Yeah, you do extra bonus to your attacks. Oh, this would be agile if you were like a teeny tiny person trying to trip somebody, for example. See the trip with a green check mark up above. You have one of those maneuvers abilities. So bull rush, dirty trick, disarm, sunder armor, or trip. Trip is the one that we're capitalizing on. And again, there's other choices. Again, we could have gone sunder armor. I'm not a fan of stuff like that so much. It's a little fiddly. I do like toughness. I do like missile shield. If you are going to be using a shield, why not have the ability to directly bat out of the air one missile attack around? Now you have to be not flat-footed, and you have to be aware of it. What does that mean? Well, flat-footed means you're not being surprised, obviously. The being aware of it means they can't be an invisible attacker shooting you, because how would you know? Right? So again, if he's within range, you can see the motherfucker, and you're not surprised. Bam! The first one that could have hit you just doesn't even bother. Just, nope, sorry. It would just erasing that. It doesn't matter if it's magic or not. The only thing that would possibly work against that would be if it's an auto-hit missile attack. And I don't mean magic missile. I mean like a missile attack, which is like, for some reason, if there is one, I don't even know that there is, but if there is one in the game where it's guaranteed to hit the target, then again, I think that would overcome your missile shield there. But again, for everything else, it's really, really nice. Now the last two, 16 and 20, we get 2 more points. Do you want to have a 22 dex? Sounds cool to me, but you really are a strength-based character still. You are wielding stuff that strength is going to be important. Now I didn't care too much about it because again we wanted greater 2-weapon fighting, but I do care enough about it to want it to go up. So I think that makes sense for you. From here, how are we doing here? Missile shield. Oh, blind fight. I really do think you're going to want blind fight before too long, buddy. All right. I'm going here. Again, go to the back. Get your spears up. Again, you're up to now solid +4/+4. Combat maneuvers, defensive hell. They're even fucking suggesting this one. But like I said, I think I'm doing the effortless dual wielding, and that's only because if I'm dual wielding with something that's not a light weapon, like your heavy shield, then the penalty goes away. And that is a good heavy shield that's pretty decent. But if that's not your thing, again, I like trained initiative, I like combat maneuver defensive, and I do like fighter reflexes especially if you don't have a high dex mod. So those are your top ones up here. Okay, so just pick one. From here, again, greater shield focus still looks appealing to me. We haven't got any weapon focus or improved critical. So maybe you do want to get improved critical for one of your spears. And I can't tell you which one to grab. Hell, you can even do it for your shields. But again, spiked light shield, spiked heavy shield. I don't even know how that works in this game. But notice that light shield bashes in there. And of course, heavy shield bashes in here too. So you could have criticals on those. It's not likely. I maintain, though, you probably want to do something like a short spear. Okay? And that's just so you don't have to worry about whether it's a keen weapon or not. I'm going to go with combat reflexes. That high dexterity, you might as well be getting some extra attacks of opportunity. And even if you're flat-footed, you get those attacks of opportunity. So that's nice. Going. Last two coming up our way. That greater shield focus keeps staring me in the face, and I know I want it, but I just can't make myself grab it. If there's something else that's better. Let's see if there's something else that's better. I like toughness. You are a frontliner. Why not have extra health? I do like skill focus. You can really push something through the goddamn roof. Now, athletics could be amazing. You could have really good perception. You could have really good knowledge world, I think we went with, or persuasion for that matter. Shield wall, though, is a nice teamwork feat. And this one here is, again, another one where you get extra armor. So whenever you are wielding a shield and are adjacent to an ally wielding a shield who also has this feat, remember, you don't have to worry about that part. Just be next to an ally. The armor class bonus with your shield increases depending on the shield wielded by your ally. So if your ally is wielding a buckler or a light shield, you get another +1. If they're using a tower shield or a heavy shield, you get a +2. Stick next to Valerie, who is always wielding a tower shield. You got a +2 extra to your armor. Keep these bonuses even if your ally loses his shield due to a shield bash. Adjacent ally of this feat uses a tower shield to grant total cover. You also benefit if an attack targeting you passes through the edge of the shield. So again, you can see the appeal between you and Valerie, or you and Jathel. Jathel can wield a shield, so that's the thing. Don't like that one. We have Precise Strike. You should have grabbed that earlier. If you want outflank, here's a solid upgrade to your swing. +4 instead of +2 to your swing if you're flanking a target. And Jathel's one of those people that would have outflank. Don't like that. We could have grabbed, what's the other one called? Back to back. +2 circumstantial bonus to your armor if you're next to an opponent that you and someone else like Jathel is flanking. So again, you can see the appeal. But I mean, really, there's no wrong answer here. You could just like turtle up though, like I'm saying, like crazy if you went that route. I still like greater shield focus because, again, if you're using a shield a lot, why not have it be a +2 instead of a +1? So again, kind of on you on these ones. Armor mastery, of course, should point that out. Notice that you get actually damage reduction 5/dash as long as you have any kind of armor or a shield, which of course you have both. So it's a solid upgrade for your protection. Last point, strength. And again, not bad, not great. You'll carry a lot more this way. And again, you'll have gear that buffs your strength more than you think anyway. You finish with solid stats. Again, mobility kept you from having this one to a 20. But again, a 22 is a solid upgrade. And again, you'll have something that increases your intelligence more likely than not. This will be even higher than you think. This is a solid athletics check. This is a solid perception and persuasion check. And again, you'll buff those besides. Notice I did not take the additional feat. Notice that we have weapon mastery and you have to pick the weapon. And notice it can be any goddamn weapon you want. And all this does is the crit range, the multiplier, excuse me, jumps up to another 1. So if it's ×2, it's now ×3. If it's ×3, now it's ×4. So again, I can't tell you what to pick here. But notice that any attack with that weapon automatically confirms a crit. So I recommend your short spear. Why? 1, we got improved critical on that little fucker. And 2, so it's more likely to crit anyway. The fact that it confirms crit now is really impressive. And remember, we had that one feat that allows us to, if you crit with your main weapon, your shield is in your offhand. That shield mastery, I think is what it was called. Bashing finish, excuse me. Then you get to critical hit with your melee weapon, which is your short spear. Then you get an attack of opportunity with your offhand weapon, which is your shield. So you poke them in the face with a crit, and then bam, follow it up with a nice shield smack. Just saying, kind of fucked up, right? Pretty badass. And I would put the best shield in your hand when you're wielding that best short spear in your hand. So again, on you on that one. And again, doesn't have to be a short spear. You could have gone with, like I said, the close combat instead of the spears. And again, punching dagger. Sadly, the punching daggers also crit, I think, only on a nat 20. But they're mean, and there's some really good ones in the game, so I'm going to show you all that shit here in a minute. From here, I mean, honestly, there's really not anything else I can really give a rat's ass about. Dodge is still nice. I guess I'll highlight it. Improved blind fight could be fun. Again, a chance to ignore blur effects, which is really, really nice. Don't kid yourself on that. Improved initiative, we never grabbed that. That's a solid choice. Again, we can still grab out flank. We can still get shield wall. There's a lot of good stuff in here. But, I mean, generically speaking, dodge or improved blind fight are good, solid choices. And it's the end of the game, so it doesn't much matter. I'll take the extra armor. Fuck it. Bite. Okay. Now, I want you to look at this monster of a character you got here. Remember, only +1 weapons or masterwork weapons that we got going on right now. You got a solid swing with this little bastard. See the +4 weapon training spears? You just crushing shit. Notice that our will saves +5 from armed bravery. Okay, it's not amazing, but it's right up there now with reflexes, which is still pretty impressive to me. And again, we have not buffed you with any kind of magical resistance gear, like a cloak of resistance +6. So these could all be higher. That's a solid upgrade. We haven't given you a bonus to your dex, a bonus to your con, or a bonus to your wisdom yet, which would again make all those go up depending on which one we're talking about. So again, plenty of things to talk about there. As far as gear is concerned, let's actually just do that then right goddamn now. Let's come to here, and we are going to enable filters so that we can talk about each individual thing. I know this video is long, and it's not for everybody, but this was the build you wanted, buddy, and this is for you. So let's talk about armor first. So light shield. There we go. Notice we have bashing shield. I'm going to take that one. Light shield of lesser negative energy resistance. We'll take it as well. Shield of evocation resilience. We're going to take that one. Ray blocker. That's probably the same thing, really. We're going to take a light shield +5 for warning. That's the one you really want. Jump right to the answer here. Notice that, of course, there was a spike shield. See, I didn't think there was. Let's try spike to see if that lights anything up. Reset the filters. Yeah, see, here's spiked. What the hell? Alright, We'll have to check this. Let's do spiked light. See what shows up. Okay, so there should be a spiked light shield +5. Let's take that one. Shock, frost, flaming, spiked light shield +2, corrosive +2. Masterwork. We're just gonna take the what I saw, agile. Where is that? Let's take that one, just to see if it gives us anything different. Then we're gonna do heavy. So we have bleed, spiked, heavy shield +5. That sounds like a badass one. Flaming, spiked, heavy shield +2. Spiked, heavy shield +3. Corrosive, shock. Cool. So this is just like weaponized versions of a shield, and that's fine. We did that, so now I want to do heavy. And I want to get rid of everything except for shields. There we are. So, Ironclad Will, Bulwark, Wild Guardian. I'm giving you the named ones if that's not obvious. Heavy Shield of Elemental Protection, Ancestral Dwarven Shield, and it's mostly just to show you that these things are going to look stupid. But Ravina's Oath, this is the only one that's a heavy shield to me, not counting the spike one because I never looked at those before, that perfectly fits what you want. This would be the one I would have in your short spear in one hand, Ravina's Oath in the other, and you're going to fucking love it. But it's on you. You have to, again, can you convince yourself that a Spartan would have this shield is really the question. As far as armor is concerned, remember we have scale mail. Start scale. Notice we have Mithral scale mail. You don't need it to be light. That doesn't mean you don't want it. It's +5 and it's fun. It looks pretty. Armor of Wealth, though, is a solid one. Bone mail's fucking kick-ass. Adamantine, give you some resistances until you get to level 19 or 20 when that thing unlocks itself. Scale mail +5. Scale mail of resistance. Blah, blah, blah. Raging Bulwark. Dragon scale plate. Don't kid yourself, that's plate mail. Okay. It's just because scale was in the name. But scale mail is a solid choice. Not wanting that one. Then the other one to me was breastplate. So plate of the beast, breastplate of afterlife. What else we got in here that might be of interest to you? Singing steel breastplate. That's only if you're like using bardic songs and shit like that. Adamantine, of course. Heart of Valor. Black Dragon breastplate, Void Mirror. And again, we don't need the Mithral because again, you have skill as a fighter, so you don't need it to be a light armor in that regard. But again, if you find a Mithral breastplate +5, fucking equip that shit if it's better. If that's not your thing, the other option for medium armor anyway was hide. So there's some weird ones in here. Primal hide. Jester's Vessel is not hide armor. Because the hideous laughter, H-I-D-E, hide, that's what it's looking for. But these ones here, Tiger Stripes is the only one that I think I've actually seen. Lindorm hide, Hodag hide, and Owlbeast hide I have never seen in the game. I have seen these monsters, but I've never seen the hide armor drop. I don't know if you have to like kill them and craft it or some shit, I don't know. But I've never seen it. But the Tiger Stripes you can have made for yourself. And that's all your medium armor. Not counting, of course, chainmail. But again, Spartans, to me, they don't wear chainmail. Same with chain shirt. They don't wear chain shirt. There's some good ones. If you want those, find them. You'll enjoy them. I'm not going to show them to you because it's going to be too long of a list already. Belts, I mean, pretty much same with your hat. The end-all, be-all is the Belt of Physical Perfection +8. Same with the hat headwear, where it's the Hat of Mental Perfection +8. Now that's kind of boring. Let's do there is a crown that you will receive in the game. So if you don't like the hat, this is the next best runner-up in my opinion. It's not the best thing in the world, but it's still a solid choice. Footwear. Again, there's nothing wrong with Hellstrider boots, Swamp Dweller boots, Manticore skin boots, Bone Threader boots, boots of Creeping Doom, Sure Step, Owlbear skin boots. Manticore skin boots is usually the ones I go with, just so we're clear. Gloves. Honestly, it doesn't much matter. If you want like a spell that you didn't have access to because you're a fighter, Star Soldier's Gauntlets allows you to shoot off a Scorching Ray beam. That's 3 beams in a combat round. Pew, pew, pew with fire damage. and it buffs your strength +8. Why is that important? Because you got a belt that does strength +8, don't you? Yes, but there's other belts. So for example, you could have got yourself a, I want to say Devil Sash? Yeah, Devil Sash. Immune to poison, +8 to dex and con, but not strength. See that? So again, with that gloves, you got laser beams, you got strength +8. With the belt, you got dex and con +8, and you're immune to poisons. See what I'm saying? So this is all kinds of different type of gears, basically my take-home message here. And neck items, again, you want something that's probably like a generic amulet, natural armor +5. There's nothing wrong with that. Chirona's amulet's my personal favorite. That's the one that literally makes you mirror image for free every start of every battle, and it's a decent armor buff as well, like a +4, +5. So again, even better than natural armor +5. So again, it's my favorite, but you may not find that quickly. So just natural armor is a solid choice. Cloaks, that's shoulder. Cloak of resistance +6, period. Done. That's not the only thing you could have grabbed, though. There's a laundry list of shit, but I'm just going to grab that for now. Rings. You want to grab yourself definitely the Ring of Circumstances, which is right here. And then if you don't get the Greater Ring of Ultimate Protection, or the Ring of Law, or the Ring of Chaos, or the Greater Ring of Balance if you're true neutral, or the Great Dreamer's Smile. Those are some of my favorites. Blur is still a solid one. Again, it's Blur for free all the goddamn time. And there's, again, a shit ton of stuff in here that you can go with. I'm not telling you what to do. There's plenty you will decide on your own. Well, this should get you where you're going. Weapons. We forgot to do something. So let's look at our different types of weapons. So we have spears. Spiked Defender. Frost Spear grants you a +1 shield bonus on our class and deals 1d3 cold damage. Lame. Sunbeam. +2 Flaming Spear grants its wield the ability to cast Searing Light twice per day as a cleric. Winner, winner. And again, you're going to grab anything that's spear related. Only Undead Bane Spear. Initiative check. Good Hope 3 times a day. Fuck yeah. How about Dystopia? Necrotic Spear. Sounds good to me. Short Spear, Long Spear. No, those are boring. Let's go with just the named ones. Alright. Come on, come on. Where you at? Where you at? A Speed Bleed Spear +2, though. That does something fun. Longshank Bane. +1 Longshank Bane Spear. The creation of this unknown goblin master who sincerely hated the civilized races. Longshanks, for those of you that don't know, that's like humans. Humans, elves, I think. Basically, anything that's not a tiny-looking goblin is a Longshank. Long-legged bastard. And it's a Bane, so therefore it's a +2 to the swing, so instead of being +1, it's +3 against those bad guys, and it's 2d6 extra damage, but that's not something you care about. Deadly Ivy, we'll take that one. Butterfly Hunter's Needle, sounds good. Bone Shard, that's a good one. Dark Forest, Dragon Slayer. Lycanthrope Bane Mithral Short Spear +3. It's a lot of words. Morning. Ghost Touch Keen Short Spear +2. Singing Edge and Venom. Now, of course, that doesn't include javelins. There's not very many. I mean, there's a decent list, but again, Speed Javelin +3 is probably the one you're going to go with, or Javelin +5. If you want some elemental damage, like if you want to feel like Zeus shocking somebody, there's a Shock Javelin +2. That's cool. The Keen Frost Javelin, yeah. The Holy Javelin +3 is a solid choice. So again, that's your ranged attack. So we've done that, and I think, did I give you all the light shield? Yeah, I gave you the light shield. Oh, Trident. Sorry, I knew there was something else that I was missing. Trident. So Tridents, Vicious Trident, Speed Trident, Nature's Wrath. Let's grab that one. Horror's Teeth, Greater Shock, Speed Trident +2, and Bound Thunder. Shocking Thunder, Trident +2. Sure. Okay, that's a laundry list of shit. So let's actually go through this. First, let's just unequip all this crap and start you with shields. Well, with armor. So here's our Tiger Stripes. Again, not something that I would think a Spartan would wear. It is +5 armor. Notice the max dexterity of 4. You see how you had dexterity is +5? Remember, you have training and armor. So that +4 that you're seeing there, the max dexterity 4, is actually higher than that. So how do we know how much higher? We'll get you your belt of dexterity. Physical perfection +8. Let's just do that one and give you the stupid wizard hat. I think this is why you would not wear this. That's why you would grab, in my opinion, the crown, which is here, because you will get this. It's not +8, 8, and 8. It is +6, +6, and +6. And it's a little bonus to saves against compulsion effects, but it's a resistance bonus, which is lame. But that would be a Spartan. You're the king of the Spartans. Nothing wrong with that. So again, I'm cool with you wearing something like that. Here's our Gyronic amulet. We'll just put that on now. Your ring of circumstances and your boots of manticore skin boots. It's another armor upgrade and more movement. One of the reasons I love that one. But if you're not feeling the tiger, well, first let's get our cloak resistance +6. There you go. And I'm going to give you the Great Dreamer smile just to have another ring on. Glove wise, where's our Star Soldier's gauntlets? Yep. We didn't get bracers. I knew I forgot something. Doesn't matter. There's not good bracers in the game for you. Armor wise, if you're not looking like you want to turn into a Smilodon, that's what this is important for. If you wanted to be a magical creature type person where you clearly have the ability to have a spell-like ability, you can at will turn into a Smilodon with this damn thing. So you can suddenly fucking maul shit at a +5 weapon bonus for your attacks. That's claw attacks and bite attacks, and you get to maul the shit out of dudes. And you are pretty badass. But again, it doesn't really feel like Spartan. It feels like something a barbarian would do. So what do you have? You have adamantine scale mill +5, which looks fucking tits. Not impressed with that one. Here's your raging bulwark +3. Notice the fire resistance 10, and the ability to cast rage spell twice a day. Now, what does rage spell do? Well, it means you can't cast your spells. Do you cast spells? Fuck no. So this is awesome. This is a nice upgrade for you. And again, the fact that you are now raging, that's a bonus I want to say to your strength and your con, or at least your damage and your con. So you get temp HP and you get a better swing, and I think even increases your will saves because you're like batshit crazy. This is kind of cool. And again, not liking that one, and that's a solid one. Again, I like the resistance too. Don't like that one though. We have other choices. So we have, say, the bone mail. Talk about evil. You're made of fucking bone. Looks like you've actually like used your kills to actually make yourself a badass. And it's made of bones. This is one of those ones that's kind of made for like a druid because it's not metal, right? Like typical scale mail is. It's actually made of bone. But notice this, the stuff you get from this. It's +4 scale mail, immune to cold, and DR5/bludgeoning. So until you get some DR5 or 10 from other gear or whatever, or your natural abilities, this is some nice protection for you. Bludgeoning, of course, penetrates it. But this is solid. And again, I love the immunity to cold. That alone makes it worth a damn. Not a fan of that scale mail. Maybe you want to get yourself some plate of the beast. This is your breastplate stuff now we're talking. Solid upgrade, still good armor. Gives you con bonus, but again, we are getting that from a belt, more likely than not. But if you didn't have that yet, this is a solid upgrade. And you can cast Aspect of the Wolf once per day as a 10th level druid. That gives you some other fiddly bits, but one of those fiddly bits is the ability to trip. You already have that, so I don't know if that increases your ability to trip, but that's something to look into. Here's Armor of Wealth, other scale mail. Looks fucking cool. And again, King of the Persians, man. They look fucking royal as all shit. And it's DR5/dash. Now, yes, you have that naturally anyway. Now, until that time, though, have that motherfucker on. And that's solid armor. +5. That's a 10 armor class, and that max dexterity of 3 is actually, you're getting a full 7, so we're not getting all of it. So we're actually getting 4 back. So it's 3 + 4, so 7 total. That's why you're seeing a 7 over there, and our dexterity bonus +7 when it is +9. That's still pretty good. I'm happy to get 7. So that's a solid choice for you. And then last one was the acid resistance with the dragon breastplate here. The black dragon breastplate is 11 armor, acid resistance 30. Can be used by druids because again, it's not made of metal; it's made of dragon scale probably. So again, a solid one. And again, you're still getting your 7 dexterity over here, so you're still good. And maybe you want to be acid resistance. I don't know. It does look kind of generic. What's this one here? Oh, breastplate of the afterlife. Okay, here we go. Not the best armor ever, but energy resistance. Again, absorbs 10 points of positive energy and negative energy per attack. Also grants the ability to cast Daze, who gives a shit, once a day as a first level wizard. Ooh, ring a ding ding. It's a weird one. But the negative and positive energy attacks can be pretty brutal. Void Mirror, another one here, is a decent armor, adamantine armor. Notice this part, +4 dodge against ray attacks. So what does the dodge mean? Think of your touch attacks. See how you have dodge and dexterity up there? Dodge stacks. So +4 to dodge means that this could be technically 27 against ray spells. That's ranged touch attacks, not touch attacks. Half of them, the ranged ones. So think of Scorching Ray, Acid Splash, Hellfire Ray, shit like that. And there's a lot of bad guys in the game that have touch attacks. This is why usually if you're going to solo, I'm not saying you're going to, but if you're going to solo, you have to have usually a high touch armor class. You do not. You got good, you're not great. So don't think you're soloing anything with this character, at least at the end of the game. But this would be a solid protection then, is the point. You don't see it because, again, it won't kick in until they actually attack you. But you would be at a solid 27 against those motherfuckers. And that's not bad. What was the other one here? Heart of Valor. +2 Mithral Breastplate. +4 bonus to saves against fear. Against morale bonus. So, again, 22 is your normal. The morale bonus would stack with all the shit that you're seeing up there. So you would actually be at a 26 to save against fear effects. This is something, and I think you can find that one actually early on. And that's just the generic shit. So again, to me, the one that I like the most, I like the bone mail, and I did like the, where the hell did it go? Armor of Wealth, because the Armor of Wealth one looked fucking awesome, especially with the crown. Why are you wearing the backpack? Didn't I shut that shit off? Maybe I did. There you go. Now you look cool. And that's cool to me. Okay, now let's talk about shields. Okay, here's the one that you really want to have if you're not going to use Ravina's Oath. So let's put this one here. And we're going to put the Ravina's Oath there. This is the one you want. Now, can you convince yourself that a Spartan would use that? I don't know. But I'm going to show you why this one's badass. First, let me give you a spear to go with that shit. Where's our, it's a Trident spear. I need a short spear. Come on. Like the morning short spear. Oh. Okay. Look at this attack. This one here is looking impressive, right? You get 4 fucking attacks over here, right? Like you should, because you are a fighter. By the end of the game, level 20, actually by level, I think, 16, you'll have 4 attacks in your main hand. This is a solid fuck you to the bad guys. And again, you got a good solid weapon over here. Notice the crit range on that fucker. That is an impressive crit range, 17 to 20. This thing is amazing. It is keen, but it's also better than it should be. So don't kid yourself. There's a good crit weapon out there for you for a short spear. So again, I'm real happy with this. Remember, we have that ability where if you crit with your main weapon, you do what? Bash and finish. Bam! Right? Attack of opportunity with your offhand weapon. Like this motherfucker, which hits like a brick goddamn shit house. Look at that thing. You got a +7 from your strength, attack bonus of 20, luck bonus from our freaking ring, other -2 penalty is overshadowed by the Shield Master. You see that +7 there? That's why this one is the important one. Shield Master allowed you to literally take something like a heavy weapon, heavy shield, and treat it as if it were a light weapon, like a light shield. So again, this is really benefiting you in a big, big way for your swing. But also, the shield itself, look at what this fucker is known for. Ravina's Oath, +7 armor, as you can see, massive bonus, but it's considered a +5 weapon. On a successful hit, it makes the target bleed for 1 to 6 damage per turn. Effects of multiple applications stack. So bleed them, bleed them, bleed them. If you hit them all 3 fucking times in a combat round, you've bled that motherfucker for 3d6 of damage every round. And then you just do it again next turn, and then the next turn. And the only way that goes away is if they heal. Doesn't matter how they heal. Cure light wounds, chug a potion, if they regenerate, if they have a cleric on the team that just AoE heals just to be a dickhead, you know, that will heal that and make that bleed go away. But that's not common, and it's not something they're normally going to do. It will, of course, end at the end of battle, which usually means they die. So, again, a good way to really cripple those hard-hitting opponents. Now, there's going to be opponents that are immune to bleed, period. So, it sucks. But, until you come across those guys, this dude is freaking power. Notice this other stuff that you get in here. The +5 armor itself, the fact that it's considered a weapon, the fact that it literally is just going to just continually crush stuff. So you got the +5 from the spiked heavy shield, because that's what it is, and then a +7 from Shield Master, just crushing it. And power attack is still on, so you're still hitting for 31 fucking damage, plus the 1d6, who cares? The 31 plus damage per hit. 29 over here, and that's with the good weapon. Should this be your best category? Remember, you got a +4 to your swing and a +4 to your goddamn damage with a spear. Where's your bonus? Weapon training spears, +4. You see that? And that's added down here. So why is this one so much better? Because it's Ravina's Oath. This thing is amazing. If you could convince yourself that you're the Spartan guy that has this as your thing, maybe it was a gift from a ruler that you took over. Who knows? Justify it. This would be the way to go. Don't want that one? Okay, then you're going to go with this guy. Let me find you another goddamn spear to go with it. No, not long spears or spears. We'll show you this other one. Butterfly Hunter's Needle. Good enough. Uh-oh. Did I break my game? Don't break my game. Don't you dare break this game. Son of a bitch. Scared the hell out of me. Okay. Butterfly Hunter's Needle. I don't even know where this is in the game. I don't think I've ever seen it. Actually, no, I take that back. I think I have seen it because I've seen that pattern. Maybe. Anyway. +4. Feybane Butterfly Hunter's Needle. +4 Feybane Short Spear grants his wielder +3 insight bonus armor class against Fey attacks only, and insight bonuses stack here, here, and here. So unless it's another insight bonus that you have, which is the Gyrona's Amulet, which we do have, this isn't going to stack with that. But if you didn't have this amulet, and it is rare, so don't kid yourself, this is a nice bonus. And again, you fight Fey at the end a lot. And to talk about some fun here, remember it's a Feybane, so it's a +4 weapon for everything else. Against a Fey, it's a +6 weapon, and it does 2d6 of extra damage on top of this 1d6 plus 29 damage that you're seeing here. Reason we're pairing it with the shield is this is your other light shield that you want. Why? +3 light shield, solid attacks, decent damage, and blah 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 blah. But look at this best part: immune to critical hits. That's fucking power, baby. You are just a tough son of a bitch with that one. So again, if you can't convince yourself of Ravina's Oath, this is the shield you're probably going to want in your main little fisties when you're wielding this kind of thing. There's other ones. Again, we have Spike Light Shield, but notice these are busted. See that? It thinks it's a goddamn weapon. So I don't trust these to be accurate. Same with the Agile Spike Light Shield. They're busted. I think someone added this. It's probably from my mod. So don't use those. We could have gone... Bleed Spike. Again, this is another one that's probably busted. Yeah, someone added this from the mod. There's other shields. Okay, so there's other stuff like we could do just a generic light shield +5. Let's give you another spear here. Spear, Trident. Sure, there you go. Just to show you, we have light shield +5. You could have gone ray blocker. +3 light shield. This one is misleading. +3 light shield, so decent armor. +4 bonus to saving throws against evocation spells. So that's why it says ray blocker. That's misleading because most of the ray spells are ranged touch attacks, and that's not usually something that you save against. So it's kind of misleading. But again, if you want protection from evocation spells, boom, that's a +4. Now the downside on this one is I don't know what kind of saving throw bonus that is. If it's resistance, we already have +6. They won't stack. But if it's something different, 6 and 4, that's another big boon. And those are usually reflex saves, like maybe a fortitude save every now and again, but usually this reflex bonus. So again, this could be a solid protection shield for you. Okay, don't like that one. We have also Shield of Evocation Resilience. Oh, that's the same thing. They just give it a different name. Yeah, boring. Bashing Shield, generic. Notice the damage is nice. Shield specifically designed to perform a bashing, blah blah blah. Does 1d8 of damage. It's done more damage than your goddamn spear as far as the 1d8 versus 1d6, which is something, I suppose. It's a +1 weapon, so again, it's not particularly impressive and it's not a lot of armor. But again, you know, on you, you're still getting plenty of armor with all the other shit you got. So 44 is not horrible, but that's not my favorite. I do like that ray blocker, but again, light shield +1, light shield +1. Now we can talk about our heavy shields. Again, doesn't look like something a Spartan would use. Here's our bulwark. That's very similar to this one, as far as the look, I suppose. So again, if you can convince yourself that this is good, then this one could be good for you as well. It's acid resistance, +4 competence bonus perception check. Gotta love that. And again, the fact that it's a +2 heavy shield. You know, it's cool. It's just not impressive to me. But the perception bonus you may find that is more useful to you than me. Ironclad, again, doesn't look like something a Spartan. Well, maybe this could be a Spartan weapon shield. It looks pretty fancy. I could see it. The ones that really smack of weirdness, you know, like the ones that are clearly wooden, nah. Ancestral Dwarven, again, more of the same look. Protector of Unjust. This one knows that you can't be good or lawful to wear this one. And that one, I can almost wrap my brain around that being something that a Spartan would use. +2 saving throw bonus, but it's a resistance saving throw, so it doesn't stack with our cloak. It gets better, the armor, against good or lawful outsiders, which I don't know that there's good outsiders, but there's definitely lawful evil devils, right? So, But, and then of course the last one over here, this one, definitely not you. But it does give you a nice speed bump. This is your Child of the Wind. It's a decent shield. I mean, it's a good attack. If you can convince yourself that this is something a Spartan would have, fucking run with that shit. But again, I can't make myself believe that shit. But let's start talking about your spears then. So we have, first off, your Nature's Wrath Trident. Remember, you get a bonus to the swing. You're back to two-handing it, though. But look at the damage. Okay, and I can't stress this stuff enough. Look at the damage upgrade. Remember, you're power attacking with a two-handed weapon. How does that work? So if you take your swing here, -6 to your swing, +12 to your damage normally. Because it's a two-hander, that goes from +12 to +18. Same with your strength. Normally it'd be +7 to your strength added down here, but instead it's a two-hander. You get 50% more strength. So +7 and another 3.5, so it'd be +10.5 round down, +10. So +10 and what did I just say, 18 for this one. So you're at 28. It's a +5 weapon. So 28 jumps up to 33. Where's the other 6 coming from? I don't know. But it's in there somewhere. 4 is coming from here. The weapon training spears, +4 and +4. So that makes sense. So I'm up to at least a 37, but we're getting another 2 more that I just can't account for. But I don't care. It's still a solid screw you for the damage. Notice it does additional damage to aberrations, construct, humanoids, outsiders, and undead. On a successful hit, it makes the target vulnerable to electricity for 1 minute, which is kind of trippy. I don't know who the hell would use that, but whatever. And that's kind of kitschy. I don't know. It looks neat to me. Utopia, here's a two-handed spear. Now, this is just a generic spear. How do I know it's generic? It's a 2-foot range, but still two-handed. So again, damage, fucking crushing it. And a +5 holy undead bane spear. +3 bonus to your initiative checks. You can cast Good Hope. That's a really good spell. Buffs you and your team in a big hogging circle, if I'm not mistaken. 3 times a day as a 12th level bard. That's a solid fuck you weapon. It looks fucking tits. I mean, look at that shit. Tell me you don't want to stab someone in the chest with that thing. And the undead bane part, remember that +5 weapon suddenly turns into a +7 weapon and does 2d6 of extra damage. So you're already crushing it. This would be an amazing screw you to the undead. Don't like that one. We have the Venom Spear. Looks kind of badass. What does this guy do? He's just a generic two-handed spear. Solid damage, as you see. +5 spear lands hit. Its target has to succeed on Fortitude saving throw. DC 27. That's pretty high. Or become poisoned with a poison that deals 1 to 3 con, strength, and dex damage around, and affected by acid that deals 2 to 12 damage. Holy shit. Cool. Don't like that one. We have Dark Forest Spear. Again, just a generic spear. +4 necrotic. So spear summons a friendly 9th level Will-O-Wisp for 1d6 rounds when it ends a life. That can be dangerous, to be real clear on this. Will-O-Wisps are notorious for electric attacks. A little sip of my coffee. But not only do they electric maul the shit out of stuff, but they also electric lightning bolt shit, which might mean you and your team. Be real careful with this one. But again, could be cool. Let's see. Singing Edge. This is probably for a bard. Whenever the wielder of this +3 long spear becomes affected... Oh, no, it isn't. You just need to have a bard on the team. Awesome. Its enhancement increases to +5. Cool. And it grants the wielder a +2 dodge armor upgrade. And this is a long spear. See the 6-foot range on that fucker? So that's not bad. Good damage. Not great, but it's because it's +3 versus +5. Get that bardic performance on this. Goes back up to a 39. And these go up 2 points each. And that's solid. And again, this armor would be for here and here, but not flat-footed. So another 2 on top of that. That can be cool. Takes away from the fact that you're wearing a shield, but again, gives you some armor back if you're under the effect of that song. I can see the appeal. Dragon Slayer. Big ass lance. Look at that shit. Oh, I know I've seen that one before. What we got here? Dragon Bane +5. Nothing fancy, but it's still a solid damaging weapon. Butterfly's Hunter Needle. We already grabbed that one, right? Yeah, I grabbed it twice by mistake. Javelin. Don't forget your javelins. You can chuck those, and you can have shields at the same time. So give yourself the ray blocker. So you can have some armor. Yes, you can melee and still poke them in the face. Now, on this. If you're attacking with a ranged weapon at melee range, they will provoke attacks of opportunity on your butt. However, you're getting 4 attacks off, you got pretty good armor, you could probably toe-to-toe with some dude, and you get to stab him, you know, chuck something in his face, and then bash him with your shield. Chuck something in his face and bash him with your shield. So you're still getting your 7 attacks. You have to be toe-to-toe with him to do that. But every time you swing, there's the chance of attack of opportunity going off in your face. I'm not a big fan of that. There could have been a way around it. We didn't take it, but as a fighter, you are primed for doing so. If that was your thing, okay, pay attention to this part here, buddy. If that was your thing, you needed point-blank shot, precise shot, probably weapon focus in javelins, and weapon specialization in javelins, and then you can get point-blank master javelin. That's 5 feats that you would have to take shit away to do this. Maybe take away the trip ability. But if you wanted to do this, again, it feels total Spartan, right? To stab someone in the face with a goddamn javelin at point-blank range while you still got your shield to bust them in the chops and not provoke an attack of opportunity, that's cool. And it doesn't even have to be a +5 javelin. It can be the javelin of... Oops, where do you go? No. Come on, where are you at, little son of a bitch? Speed javelin +3, so you can get 5 attacks and then 3 attacks. You can get 8 goddamn attacks off in a combat round, bro. By yourself. No haste spells or anything else buffing you up, just the gear that we have here. And you're crushing shit. And again, you could have done that. I didn't take you that route because you didn't specify. But if you want to see that, I'll happily make that separate video for you. Just say so down below. But this would have been a fun one for me. I would have really have jived on being point blank range and just stabbing people in the face with a fucking javelin and then just busting them in the chops with my fucking shield. And I'd probably use that goddamn shield right there to do it because fuck you. It's just saying, it would have been fun. But everybody's different. And again, at range, you still would, I think, get those 5 attacks. Of course, you don't get to bash them. But so what? You're still at range. You still got your armor up. This is something that you would have that, for example, say an archer wouldn't have. Extra armor thanks to your beautiful fucking shield. So you still get to attack at range and still get to have fun attacking at range. Now, if you would have went that route, I probably would have went all in on the javelins. What does that mean? I would have gone, instead of just those 5 feats, remember that's 5 feats just to make sure you can poke them in the face. That doesn't give you a whole lot of bonus. So we don't have rapid shot, which would have benefited. You could have gotten a 6th fucking shot off. And we could have got deadly aim, so you could have done more damage. We could have got clustered shots so that you would penetrate their fucking armor. And again, some really good stuff that you could have done with this build that we did not do. There's all kinds of ways to change a fighter around. So if you don't like the trip stuff that I did, yeah, I'd try to do different things every time. Just keep it fresh. But you don't have to, is my point. You could have gone trip, you could have gone bull rush for some fun. I mean, I would have made him a strength-based character for that shit, but you could have, like, shoulder checked fucking trolls onto their ass. That shit gets funny. You could have done Sunder Armor. You could have done Dirty Trick. You could have done other stuff. You could have done, like the point-blank master, like I said, with the Javelin. You could have dual-wield, like I've done with that other guy's build recently, where it was a Javelin in one hand and a throwing axe in the other, and that would have been fucking awesome. You could have done... our Cornigan Smash build where you're intimidating everybody and scaring everybody and then just making it easier for your team to, like, whoop on their ass. Like I said, there's a variety of ways to take a fighter. That's why fighters are so great, because there really is it's like the pie in the sky dream. You can do it. It is there somehow. And people be like, well, how about being a caster that's a fighter, smart ass? Did you not see my fucking gloves of at-will scorching ray? This is just one piece of gear. I'm not saying that there's a shit ton out there, but there's plenty of shit that you could have grabbed where you would have had not more spells than a wizard, but enough spells that people would think you're a fucking wizard. So you could have gone that route. We didn't, but you could have, is my point. There's always gear, and for fun, I have made just joke builds for myself where I've, like, every piece of gear, with the exception of, like, maybe like a ring had an ability, even my weapons and my shields and shit, had a spell-like ability that I could trigger with the fucker. Whereas, like, I could summon, dogs at my feet to fucking attack for, like, once a round, or once a day for, like, 9 rounds. That was on a cloak. I had stuff that would allow me to fucking just cast, like, ray spells from my fucking fingertips, like this fucker, at will. So I'd never run out. So I always have a spell on tap kind of thing. I've done some weird-ass shit for, like, rogue builds and fighter builds. There's all kinds of ways to do stuff. But point is you have a variety of shit that you get to do with this guy. Here's a greater shock, greater meaning 2d6. But Trident, look at the fucking damage you're doing on this son of a bitch. And it's a speed weapon, no less. So again, solid extra attack. Again, look fucking pimp, right? You have that one. We have Bone Shard. Here's the other short spear that I was a fan of. Notice this one, okay? Short spear deals negative energy damage. It's +4. Notice that. The damage is actually negative energy damage, even that 38. So if you're having a hard time hurting something, they're resistant to physical. Are they resistant to negative, motherfucker? Because unless they're undead, I think that they're not resistant to negative to this degree. And that's a big fuck you to a bad guy. I'm just saying. I think you'll like the short spears. Again, I still maintain, though, that the punching dagger shield combo, instead of going spear combo like we did, could have been more fun. But yeah, on you. Other stuff, besides our bone shard, we got Horror's Teeth. What's this little bastard? +4. Lands hit the enemy, will save DC 16. That's lame. Or fight 1 to 3 rounds. But again, you're getting multiple attacks in a round. The chance that they're making the save every time. Remember, they can fail on a nat 1. That's why a lot of people bitch about, well, the DC check is shit. Yeah, they really are. But the more hits that you get in on that son of a bitch, the more likely it is that they're going to roll on that one eventually, and they get boned. And there's ways to soften them up. They're in like a cloud of mind fog from, say, one of your wizards that cast that shit, like Octavia. Boom, their fucking will saves are in the goddamn toilet. Throw another, like, Crushing Despair or something else on their ass, and they're literally saving so poorly that DC 16 is something that might not even be achievable for them. Boom, you fucked them over. So again, there's plenty of things that you can do to capitalize on that shit. Deadly Ivy, what's this guy? Regular short spear. Ooh, another short spear. Here we go. And notice this one's a typo. See how it's short space spear? Still a short spear. You see it up in the tooltip up above underneath Deadly Ivy. So it still fits, but if you were searching for it under short spear, all one word, you would never have found it. So that's why I typed in spear, and just everything shows up. But this is a +2 corrosive named weapon. Deadly Ivy lands a hit. The enemy has a fortitude saving throw, DC 15. Again, lame. Or be poisoned for 1 to 3 rounds. I'm assuming that's just going to be like some kind of random poison. Probably con. But again, cool and interesting. And again, looks kind of badass. And you're a Spartan. Maybe you know the ways of the poison. What do I know? Deadly Ivy. Here, I did that one. And then we have the Ghost Touch Keen short spear +2. So now here's a fun one. Okay. Now, for those of you who don't know what Ghost Touch is, first, know it's a keen weapon. So you see that it's 19 to 20 by default. Even if we didn't have improved critical, it would be 19 to 20. So that's nice. But it's a ghost touch weapon. What does that mean? If something is incorporeal, if it's a ghost specter, something of that kind, where it's kind of like it's not all here, then all your physical attacks do half damage. Not with a ghost touch weapon. They do full damage. So this is a straight fuck you to ghosts, specters, wraiths, things of this nature. So again, it is a short spear, something that you can fucking equip a shield and still have some serious fun with. Just saying. So there's reasons to want it. Speed bleed spear +2. Ooh, Jesus Christ, look at that thing. That looks fucking mean. This is a regular spear. So notice the 2-foot range, so it's a 2-hander. Solid damage still, and again, crushing shit, and the fact that it's speed makes it appealing. And it's bleed, which means it does that 1d6 bleed. 1d6, and I'm assuming it doesn't say it, but I'm assuming just like the other bleed weapons, their shield, whatever, that it stacks. But again, it continues until they heal somehow or they leave combat, which isn't going to happen because you're going to kill them. But this is a 2-hander, whereas this is literally something that you have in your offhand. So again, getting 2 bleed weapons would be fucking tits, but it's not necessary. From there, Shocking Thunder Trident +2, so you got 2 different damage types here, 1d6 of sonic, 1d6 of electric. And it's a Trident, and again, you're skilled at Trident, and it looks pretty cool. We got Holy Javelin +3. So again, you can, like, chuck different types of javelins with a shield in the offhand still. And again, Point Blank Master, all that shit was still applicable if you went that route. Here's Dystopia Spear. normal spear, +2 necrotic, +5 morale bonus to your athletics checks. This is something that you would capitalize on, and the ability to cast inflict critical wounds spell 3 times a day. So it's a little cleric, and it's necrotic. For those of you that don't know what necrotic is, bane to all living things, and deal 1d6 of negative energy damage on a successful hit. So that's a fucking powerful ass weapon because most things are living. If you didn't know, if they're not living, they're undead or they're constructs in this game. So if it's a construct or undead, this is a terrible idea. But against everything else, this one would be money. And again, looks kind of cool. Actually, I expected it to look cooler than that, though. Whatever. What else we got? Lycanthrope Bane Mithral Short Spear +3. Okay, so now let's talk about this one. First, Lycanthrope Bane. There's not many Lycanthropes in the game. There are some, and they're annoying little fuckers. So if you actually had this at that point, this could come in soups handy. And again, it's a short spear, so you can have a shield in the offhand. You could have some fun. So again, +3 becomes +5 against them, and it will do 2d6 of extra damage on top of all this pretty damage you're seeing over here. 2 Lycanthropes only. But, keep reading. See the Mithral part? Mithral weapons in this game aren't lighter. I mean, they are, but it's not considered a light weapon now. What I mean by lighter is the weight, 1.5 pounds. But Mithral weapons, Mithral, for those of you who don't know, metal, if I remember my history on D&D anyway, correctly, Mithral is a combination, an amalgam, if you will, of metals that should not exist in the real world, like silver and gold and all kinds of other weird shit, hammered together with magic to make it Mithral. Okay, because silver's in there, it is considered a silver weapon. Again, you see how it's a Lycanthrope Bane? What are Lycanthropes sensitive to? They have damage reduction, right? Unless it's silver. There's no silver weapons in this game, but there's Mithral weapons in this game, and that's considered silver. So again, that DR that they would have for being a Lycanthrope, that's fucking gone. That's why this is such a badass weapon against Lycanthropes. Okay, just saying, it's not amazing, because there's not that many in the game, but it is still pretty fucking tits. Bound Thunder. This one's kind of trippy. Once per day, you cast Lightning Bolt. Remember I told you I had that builds where I've done where everything had the ability to cast a spell of some kind. Here's an example of that. Once a day, Lightning Bolt! It's a shock trident besides, so you literally get to be stabby, and do electric damage. And again, this is a mean son of a bitch for the amount of damage it'll do for you, because again, you're good with tridents. So again, you've been better if you have a strength-based build, but well, whatever. Sunbeam. This one's trippy. It's got fire damage built into it. It's only +2, but it does Syrian Light twice a day as an 8th level cleric. That's not as powerful as it could be. 10d8 or 10d6 is like the maximum. You'd have to be a 10th level cleric to max out that spell. But at 8th level, still pretty good, and twice a day you get to beam someone in the face. So at the start of every fucking combat, like you get a volley of just, fuck you, beam them in the face. And a good weapon against undead because they hate fire. Don't like that one. Well, that's it. We're done. Wow. Okay. That was lackluster. But my point is, you had plenty of choices. You got plenty of gear. Ring-wise, I know I gave you the Great Dreamer's Smile. There's a couple reasons for this. One, it's a luck bonus to your swing. So notice that you're getting another +2 thanks to the Great Dreamer's Smile. That luck bonus is not something you're going to commonly get from other people. And it works, again, for any weapon, which includes your offhand weapon. So again, a +2 and a +2. You can see the appeal. This, of course, is the best, in my opinion, category. Because you get fucking mean 33 swing with that bastard. And this is the one that bleeds them, remember? So 3 hits that are probably going to hit. It's fucking awesome. Solid damage across the board. If you added up this damage, I don't do the 1d6s because, again, you know it's there. So if you want to get an average of this, 1d6, what people do is they take the lowest one, the 1, the highest number, the 6, add them together, 7. Divide by 2, 3.5. That's your average damage with that weapon, 3.5. So take your 29 and add like 3 to it. So a 32 and a 34 is your average with these swings. So 32 times 4, 128. And then 34 times 3, 90, 102. I can't remember what I just added. So 100, let's just say 100 plus, what did I just say? This was 32, 126. So 100, 228 average damage in a combat round, assuming all 7 attacks hit. So that's not that bad. I'm just saying. It's a mean fucking fighter. You got good goddamn armor, and you're bleeding the son of a bitch when you didn't even add that in there. That's really, really nice. And then again, you're capitalizing on all the fun stuff that you wanted to capitalize on. And I believe, just to show that last, well, probably easier to find it in here. I just saw you, little bastard. I believe this is working for your offhand. So your strength modifier, that +7, remember, you'd only get like half. See right here, normal. That means normally this is what would happen if you didn't have this feat. You normally add only half of your strength modifier to your offhand attack. So this 31 would have been a lot lower. Instead of 7, it would be rounded down to be 3.5, so it would be 3. So you'd lose 4 points. And that doesn't sound like that big of a deal, but again, per hit. So if 3 hits would have hit, you've lost 12 points of damage, and that kind of sucks, you know. So this is a solid build. I think you will have fun with it. I think it gives you everything you'll need, and I'm not even done yet because I needed to rest up. There's something else to tell you. Oh, and I wanted to gift you one more thing. The Elixir. And there it is. So you need that thing, and we need to rest you up. Okay. Why did I need to rest you up? First, let me show you the Elixir. The Elixir is this thing here. No. Here? Well, my damn Elixir. Alright, let's just sort by type. There it is, right here. The Elixir of Inconceivable Transmutation of Body and Soul and also Mind. This is the thing that Bakken makes for you. If you kiss his ass and do enough things for your kingdom to make him happy, you can get this once and once only. Give it to your main character, obviously your fighter. Drink it. See how everything went up 2 points? It's a permanent buff to all your stats. Strength, Dex, Con, Intelligence, Wisdom, and Charisma. That's a solid +2 here, solid +1 there. That's more armor. That's more attack bonus. That's a better swing, better damage. Again, you saw your damage just jumped up. And notice that you're at a nice spot for your strength. Why is that important? Remember, with 2-weapon fighting, you get 50% more of your strength rounded down. What do I mean by rounded down? If it's 0.5, then you don't get the 0.5 to round up. So at a solid even number like an 8 here, 50% of 8 is 4. 8 and 4 is 12. There is no rounding error. You see that? If it was 7, which it was just a moment ago, it would be 7 plus 3.5. So 10.5 rounded down to be 10. You went from a +10 to your damage to a +12 to your damage by doing this. Okay? That's a big 2-point increase. Just saying. It's impressive. And then, again, more strength means more carrying capacity. More dex and con mean better fortitude and reflex save. More will from more wisdom. Intelligence and charisma, they're just helping with your skills. So if you go to your skills now, your skills are actually looking pretty fucking pimp. Athletics is really high. Notice the massive penalty that you should have from the fucking armor that you're wearing is gone. The only penalty you're seeing is from your shield. And it's because it's a heavy shield. It's only a -1. It ain't that bad. I mean, the fact that you got endurance and all kinds of other shit in here is benefiting you better than that -1 penalty. So your athletics is looking stellar. Persuasion's looking really good. Perception is really nice for someone that doesn't have a lot of wisdom to begin with. And I think we didn't even have a green check mark in perception because we didn't take the additional traits to get it up there. But again, you could have. Knowledge of the world is looking really good. Mobility, not so much. But remember, we only invested 3 ranks in that thing. But this is more for the fighting defensively. And again, we can really fight defensively. As bad as your armor is now, or as good as your armor is now, you could have gone even better. But the reason I rested you was for this reason alone. See this ring of circumstances? You can activate 4 things once you've rested once with the ring on. You can activate 4 things. And those 4 things are permanent buffs for your character. They always stay on. Even if you forget and take a nap, those 4 things are always reactivate, the same 4. If you want to switch it out, that's on you. But usually I pick my 4 and I'm done with it. So again, what do I pick? Well, I like armor. I know I like having, let's see. Where you got strength? I like having more strength. That sounds like fun to me. Maybe I want to have better saving throws. So that's 3 right there. What's left? I could go Dex. I could go Con. I could go Intelligence, Wisdom. You'll get your more will saves. This would be another way to get another +1 to your will saves. I can get my skills to be a +2. I can make myself move faster. 5 foot around, but so what? I can make myself more charismatic or more intelligent. Again, up to you. But again, solid upgrades. I think Con. Because why not? So now look at your character now that you've grabbed those 4 things. Strength has gone up. See the circumstance bonus? It stacks with everything else. +2. So we're at +9. Now, yes, I said that you wanted to end on an even. So what? It's still more damage. You still want it. It's just, it would have been nicer if it was a 10 instead of a 9. But again, a 9 and a 4.5 would be a 13. That's 13 extra damage when you're 2-weapon wielding. Okay, instead of a minute ago you were at 12, I think. So you went up at least a point, so it's still extra. And again, everything else is benefiting here too. So again, a +9, +9, +9. Really, really nice. Extra con, extra health, extra fortitude. Notice that your circumstantial bonus for your saves, +1, +1, and +1. Those are looking really nice now, right? They're not amazing. They're not in the 30s or the 40s like some of the goddamn paladins can get, but it's solid. It's a solid build. And again, if you wanted speed, we're moving right now at a goddamn 50, but I could have been at 55. That's pretty goddamn zippy. Just saying, in a combat, you're going to do fine. If you wanted to keep it at distance, the reason I mentioned the speed is, again, if you wanted to go Javelin, remember Javelin is one of your weapons of choice, you could have gone zippy, get to the other side of the combat, the map, and just pepper them with fucking Javelin attacks until they close in, and then you Javelin them in the face and then bash them with your shield. You could have all kinds of fun with this build. And I think that you will enjoy this particular build, buddy. And then don't forget you have your trip abilities. Normally when I get the ring done, by the way, I usually keep these off the tray, because there's no reason to have them in there. It's too likely that you'll fat finger it. No offense, but I do that shit all the time. But what I do what I do like to do is I make sure I have my God damn it, my coup de grace down here. I also like to fight defensively, and I also put it right next to my combat expertise. Notice that our swing is getting hampered right now because of our combat expertise and our power attack. Shield bash. I didn't realize you had to have that as a toggle. That's interesting. Make sure there's not something else I'm missing in here. So your trip ability, right? So your ability to really knock someone down on the goddamn ground. And remember, we had all kinds of ways to buff that up. So not only do we have trip, but we have greater trip. So again, a better chance for us to land that. Whenever you successfully trip an opponent, the opponent provokes an attack of opportunity. So if our whole team is around a bastard, I trip somebody on the goddamn ground, me and everyone in a fucking circle is just going to go on that son of a bitch. So you're not even wasting your attack. Normally trip is a wasted attack. You trip them down, that's all you did. You're not attacking, you're tripping, right? But having greater trip means that you get to at least poke them once. Tandem trip, you have someone next to you, and again, why wouldn't you? Because again, you want everyone to get the benefit of greater trip with the attack of opportunity. Everyone's going to get a swing. And then tandem trip, you get you roll twice, so you have a better chance for it to work. Where's our other trip ability? Fury's Fall, so our dex and our strength. Yeah, strength and agility. So this +9 and +10, we got a really good. Let's see, can I actually show that to you? Where would that be? Intermartial? Combat maneuvers, yeah. Okay, so you see the strength at the total value of 31, that's misleading. For trip, it would be better. Why would it be better? Because we have that one feat that adds our dex mod. So again, 31 looks good. Make it a 41. That's what you would have. That's a really nice chance for you to trip somebody. Just saying. And again, Great Dreamer Smiles adding to that too, which is fucking hilarious. Defense against trip and those other types of movers is a goddamn 56. That's just crushing it, and that's just amazing. So again, it's less likely that those wolves are going to come up and bite your little ankles and trip you on your goddamn face. So again, I appreciate shit like that. I think you'll like this build. I know this video ranted on for way longer than it probably should have, but I do maintain that you'll have fun. If we do shut off the combat expertise, though, let's see. Was that taken into account? Okay, so it wasn't being taken into account. So probably that kicks in once you actually start fighting. So you didn't see the penalty. See here, there's no penalty, but the penalty would have been, let's see, what would it have been? Your base attack reaches +4. So it'd be the same as power attack. So you'd be at a -6 to your swing, but a +6 to your dodge. That's a lot of dodge. And again, you might be able, with your weapon attached, to be able to suffer another -6 to your swing. It's still not that bad. At 25, at best case scenario here, and on this one at 29, best case scenario. That's still a solid swing. So you could fight like this, and again, you can even do like that. But now at this point, you really are at a severe disadvantage. And again, it won't kick in until after you start a fight. but you would have, again, a retarded amount of dodge armor. So this would be a very, very high number now. So if you really need to turtle up and let the team do some damage and not you, this would be the way to go, these Togs on. If not, I'd probably go just to those two. And that's all I really need to tell you. With that, my name is Brother Me. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. Tell me how you change it. Again, if you wanted to see the other build, where, like I said, where you can do Javelin to the face at point blank range and shield bash, or if you want to see the punching dagger, shield bash combo, I'll happily do another video for you if you want, buddy. Just post down below. But with that, I'll see you guys soon. Bye now.